What's going on, everybody? Dustin with Black and Gold Pressure Washing. So, Thursday, we blew a hole on the job. I was cleaning a fence, and unfortunately, one of our old hoses that we've been running for about 3 years finally blew a hole in it. I'll show y'all right here. I was able to wrap it up with Teflon and kind of wrap it with a rag and get the job done. It was just a fence cleaning. Luckily, not something like a driveway cleaning where I would have needed more pressure. But anyway, we bought 2 new lengths of 1/2-inch 50-foot hose that I'm going to be not only connecting together, but replacing our 2 links that are old on the reel. So we're gonna be installing 2 new hoses on the reel, and I'm about to strap y'all in, and let's get going. And just so y'all can see, we're on the live here too. So say hi to the long form, say hi to the live, everybody. Some of y'all watch both, some of y'all only watch either. But basically we have these couplers right here, and these couplers are gonna link both of these 2 new hoses together. And I've had these hoses for 4 years, since 2021. So I've had these hoses quite a while, so it's about time to replace them anyway. They lasted a long time. They're very expensive. New versions of these hoses are very, very expensive. These were Continental Neptune hoses, which I believe are honestly discontinued at this point. Basically, the price of one was about the price of 2 of these. So I'm gonna give this new brand a try. I haven't tried this brand, so we'll all get reviews over the time and the use of these hoses, but they are Fierce Jet 1/2-inch. If you guys want a link to that, it's down in my description or it's pinned in the comments. I don't have any reviews on these hoses, but we will make the judgment together with everybody. So over the next couple months, I plan to make some reviews, maybe every 3 months or so, just giving you an update on the hoses, how they're holding up, how they move, all that stuff. So they are 2-wire hoses, so they are thick and they're not meant to be very like flexible. So they're heavy, but they should have good longevity and good flow. Because they're 1/2-inch for an extra 100 foot, you're not restricting your system right as you get to the hose reel, you know? So it continues down the hose reel into the first 100 foot of hose. It just allows the water to not be as restricted in the system. So I'm just gonna be unreeling this hose, and we need the reducer for it. And when I see contact with that fitting, I'll stop unreeling this. Should be any time now. I'm gonna walk back over there for you. This length of hose, I believe, is 100 foot. This 3/8-inch hose right here. So we have 2 lengths of 50 foot and 1 length of 100 foot. Okay, so this is what we need right here. This little fitting right here is pretty worn. This is what they didn't have that I wanted at the store, and if I end up needing to get one, that's okay. We'll see what we end up working with. But we'll take this off, and we're gonna be using and keeping this 3/8-inch hose. Like I said, it's old in age-wise, but use-wise, it's very young. So I'm hoping that this will still last. And if not, we'll end up replacing that one. But at least it'll be the length that's at the end of the line and not in the middle like this. Break it loose. There we go. Whew. Squeeze it and break it loose. All right, once we have this 1/2-inch or this 3/8-inch off of here, it'll make working with these others easier. Okay, so the hose we're keeping, I'm just gonna set off to the side. This will rewrap as well. Next thing we're gonna do is try and work on getting this fitting right here. I'll keep this coupler on here, honestly. But if I could get this fitting off of this hose, that's where I'm like a little nervous, I ain't gonna lie. This is gonna be a little tough. Okay. All right, boys, let's see how this works. So we're gonna get the wrench placed, and then hopefully we can break her free. There we go, boys, we got her. We got her. I'm gonna keep this vise on here, to be honest, with this coupler like this. And you could basically have your hoses be a little bit more fitted correctly if you didn't have to use the coupler right here. If you didn't need the coupler into this reducer, you can get crimped on reducers basically. So this 1/2-inch could be crimped down to a 3/8-inch fitting naturally. So this portion of the 1/2 inch would already be 3/8 inch. and then you can just straight up screw it into your hose and not worry about reducing it. It just makes for like when it goes around the reel, it's less like, it's got more ability to bend, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so we'll keep that on there. Now let's pull off our length that busted, and I'm still gonna save the length that didn't bust. And y'all also tell me, isn't there a way to like cut these and like crimp on new ends? I'm pretty sure there is, so you don't have to like, not waste, but like if the rest of the hose is fairly good and it's just the end that's worn, could you crimp it somewhere else, you know, and then save it? But I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to show y'all where we blew this hose at. Basically right here is where we blew the line. I wrapped an entire wrap of Teflon around here. I'll show y'all the hole in a second. Actually, I could undo this and show y'all the hole. I wrapped it all in Teflon, and then I wrapped a rag around it, tied it as tight as I could, and then I wrapped a metal like wire around the rag, and it was still leaking like crazy, but I was able to get just a little bit more pressure out of the tip of the gun, and it was just enough to be able to finish rinsing down the fence and watering the grass. So it definitely wouldn't have spun a surface cleaner though, I could tell you that much. So luckily we were doing a fence cleaning, which is rare for us, to be honest. We don't normally do fence cleanings that often. So the fact that it just lined up that it was the right job for the scenario. There we go. We got it, boys. Good thinking, Munchies. If y'all don't know who Munchies is, that's my gaming persona. I have a gaming channel that I just kind of started, but I haven't really put out much content on it. It's too much to manage a bunch of channels at the same time, boys. I hate to tell you. Just twisting this hose, but I'm just trying to get this off of here at this point. Okay. Almost there. Dang, these wires. I'm telling you, this 2 wires. I've always heard about being a little paranoid when it comes to reeling a hose up, and that's why I always use a rag in my hand, because you're running a reel up like this, and then if one of these wires that is now exposed, I'll show y'all, these wires like right here that stick out, I don't know if you can see it that well on the camera, but basically these wires right here that are sticking out of here are like sharp and rusted. So I unwrapped all the Teflon so you could see how big this gash was right here. She was massive. So we blew a hole right there, and this whole hose is 2 wire. So like I said, I wonder if you could just like cut it, you know, a foot lower like here, and then get a crimper or something and crimp on a new end, and then this hose would still technically be good. I don't know, but it's gonna probably end up blowing at a different spot, you know what I mean? But point being, this is the retired one for now. I'll maybe hold on to it for some reason because I like to hold on to my junk, but we'll definitely save the other length because it's still unpunctured. So we'll hold that one as a backup, but we're chalking this one. She's chalked. She did her time. So now we need to pull off this final fitting or final hose. In under 2 hours, I think we're already close to an hour now, so we're gonna be pushing it for sure to be under 2. Like I said, I'm saving this other length of hose right here. It is definitely old though. I wanna show you guys where I think it was looking like it was gonna end up giving as well. The only reason I don't think it does is because it doesn't snag on anything. So I'm thinking that that was probably the next point that was going to give, and that's on the other length of hose that hadn't busted. So that's why we're replacing those. So I'm not gonna worry about having to do this again in another couple weeks. But now we need to figure out how to get this end off. So what I think I'll do is I'll lock this hose in right here, and then we need to hold this steady and break this loose. Okay, so we'll get this fitting off of here, And we need to keep this one that's on it if we can. Okay. Who put this on? He-Man? You know what's crazy is I was stronger back then when I installed all this stuff. So now the weak man can't do it. Ah, there we go. All it takes is a little elbow grease, baby. I'm strong. We got it, boys. I've been kind of like knowing this is kind of the last thing that needs to be replaced for a while, but that has been needing to be replaced for a while. So it was like something you knew was going to be kind of going out, and you were anticipating when that was going to be, and like that anxiety as a business owner is worse than just biting the bullet and replacing it, even though you know it's not quite crapped out on you yet. It's like right there. So something that needed to be done for a while and was causing me stress because I knew any job now. Luckily, like I said, we were on the job where we could afford it to happen, but some jobs that wouldn't be the case, you know what I'm saying? So okay, we got it off, boys. So we're gonna save this link the hose, but it's very worn right here, so this is kind of like a last resort here. And I have this fitting. I'm just gonna clear out the tape in all this, the Teflon, and we need to rewrap our threads, I mean. Okay. And then this will basically just go on like this. Boom, brand new. But we gotta wrap it first. Teflon, Teflon. Dum, 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 dum. Appreciate y'all popping in here though. Feel free to say stuff in the chat and I can respond. I'm just focused on this, but I'm paying attention. I'm vibing. We're vibing. All right, and we're just trying to get a nice seal without crossing over our top thread. And if we wrapped it too much, that'd be all right. Okay, so I think I went around it about 5 or 6 times. So what we're gonna try and do is thread it and twist it a couple times so that we can get it in here. Okay, there we go. So now y'all can see that it's honestly threading itself, and then as I get tighter, we can tighten it. Okay, so now we'll put this here. We'll tighten this, get it tight, take the kink out of the hose, or the twist, to allow it to like tighten more. But I'm telling you, if you had the whole length of hose, it's a lot harder unless it's fully pulled, fully twisted out. Just trying to make sure we get it nice and tight. We want it to where we can ensure that no water is ever going to come out and that it'll never undo itself. What I think I'll do is I don't know if I can cut this or just pull it or what. Yes, thank you. I don't want to put too much pressure on this length. Kind of want it to hang. There we go. Okay. That way it's not putting a lot of force on that fitting right here. So we unreel this, but I don't want to unreel this till we couple both of these together. I'm gonna couple both the hoses together. That way it's easy to reel up. Once we cut them all, we can just pull it as far as the eye will see and try and get all the kink out here. What we need to do next is wrap Teflon and then couple these together. So I need to wrap Teflon on 2 different fittings here. I'm gonna pan y'all down here. So what we'll do is, with this end set of fittings that is right here. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. I don't have easy access. There we go. Okay, see how if you get it the right way, you can kind of just use your finger to do it instead of having to like try and keep it on. Okay, so that one's good, which all these will need to be wrapped. So I'm gonna just go ahead and Teflon wrap both of these. Boom, just like this. Hopefully y'all can see this. Yeah, I usually start it the wrong way, and then I found that if I just do it the opposite way of the way I started it, then it works. Because I always get it wrong in the first try. But when you get it right, it's so much nicer. So, okay, I'm good with that one. And we'll do this last one right down here. Hopefully y'all are able to see what it is we're doing here. Got my thighs on the camera here. Got the Amazon man pulling up. Might be a package from me. YouTube actually owes me a package, so maybe it's YouTube. Maybe it's YouTube. Oh, let me pull this wrap back a little bit so I have more work room. Let's redo this one again. Package wasn't for me, unfortunately. Well, really like 5 times or so is about good. You don't want it too thick to where you can't tighten the threads, but you don't want it too loose either. Okay, so those are good. The key is making sure that you don't have any of the white in the area where the water's gonna flow. You know what I'm saying? Because then that'll clog up your surface cleaner. But both of these are threaded now, so we can put a coupler on. And what I think I'll do, I have the swivel on this end of the new length because we have the fixed one installed directly to the reel. So the swivel portion of this one is gonna match up with the non-swivel portion of the other length. That way there is a swivel at that point. But where the fixed portion is, I'm gonna install the coupler here. That way I can tighten it easily using the swivel portion on this end. This coupler, it'll be easier to tighten on this fixed end while it's like this, and then I can tighten the coupler side easily with the swivel end of that. That's what I'm trying to explain basically. So it'll make for an easier install than trying to fight with it. So I'm just tightening this coupler on. Oh yeah, she's getting tight now, boys. I just want to make sure she's on as good as can be. Okay, I'm pretty confident in that tighten. Where we're at, we Tefloned all the threads. We got the coupler on the new length, and we're about to marry this new length to the installed new length on this hose before I cut all the plastic off and unwrap it. I could cut this plastic right here and get it to where it'll at least sit on the ground for me and be easier to work with. It's just that it's elevated in the air. That's kind of making it a little difficult to tighten and not tighten. So I think that if I leave it, pull this. If you guys want to know what hoses these are, they're Fierce Jet. And if anybody's used these before, let me know, because I'll be interested and I'll give you guys my feedback. But they seem pretty nice. The quality is nice. I like the texture of them. They're very smooth. They're not they're gray like the ones that I already had. So I kind of didn't want mixed match hoses. So the fact that they're both gray and matching with my gray hose already, kind of like that. So far so good. The fittings are nice. They got swivels. They seem like quality. With that being said, let's see if we can get this to rest on the ground. I know what I could do. I could just pull this end out. There we go. I just don't want too much pressure on that fitting until we're solid. Okay, so now we have the end free. that we're going to join, and this has a swivel that will easily tighten into this coupler over here. So that'll allow us to get a good tighten, because we'll be able to swivel from this for our tighten point. It always depends how strong you were when you put it on, right? Because I was stronger when I put these on the first time. I think that's why I struggled earlier to get them off. Okay, boys. I'm good with that. Whew. That's nice and tight. Now we have two lengths of 50 foot now joined together, coupled nice and easily, and they can swivel. So it swivels right here at this point. And so we're able to have this hose in the field be able to flop around and not get so twisted and kinked. So that's the reason why we matched the swivel with the fixed portion, and not two fixed portions and not two swivel portions. So, whew, hurt my hand there. I don't know if y'all can see that. She's filling with blood right now. So the 1/2 inch is going to join the 3/8 inch via this method right here. Reducer into coupler. 1/2 inch reducer into 3/8 inch couplers. So hopefully that was transparent enough for everybody. You can get 100 feet of 1/2 inch hose. However, if you blow a hole in any point of that 1/2 inch, then that whole 100 foot is chalked. So like today, technically I could have used the other length that didn't have the hole in it, but because it's two separate lengths of 50 foot and I only blew a hole in one set of it, if that was a full length of 100 foot, I would have to chalk the whole hose, you know? I'm actually able to salvage the hose that didn't have the blowout in it, but because it's the same age and it's kind of worn about the same amount, it's due to blow, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going ahead and I'm replacing both. So that's kind of the game plan and where we're at. But with doing two lengths of 50 joined together, you're not having to worry about if one blows a hole. You can just replace a 50 length of hose cheaper than you could an entire length of 100 foot of hose. So that's kind of the point of 250s joined instead of 100 foot joined. And it just kind of depends on preference and all that. What I'm gonna do is install this end. I'll show y'all, I'll pull it. This is our 3/8 inch hose that we're coming from. This hose right here is what we've been using on the job, and it's what our ball valve is clipped into way down there. This is 100 foot of 3/8 inch. So what I'm gonna do is install the reducer on here. The coupler / reducer, it's both. I'm gonna install this on here, and then I'll install it to the swivel side. That way it's easy again, like we just did with our initial one. Otherwise, I'm going to be like really struggling to flip the hoses around and tighten these, because two fixed ends trying to be tightened together is much harder than one fixed end. So let me find my Teflon. Whew, I really hurt my hand here. And now we're racing the rain. So let me see if I can get this done. Okay, so we're threading the new tape on here, new Teflon. Like I said, you don't want to cross over the path of the water. So where this will meet up with everything right there, I'm gonna make sure you don't cross over it with any tape or anything. That way it doesn't get any debris in your system. So it'll end up at the tip of the gun basically, or the tip of the surface cleaner. We'll tighten this as much as we can, and then I'll grab a wrench and get this tight. Come on, Rain, I need you to hold off for me. All right, we're just getting a good tighten on here, y'all. This is wonky. The vice grips are just hanging on right now. They're not being used. Does anybody watch football? I've been craving some football. Got like one more month to wait. But I'm a big football head, so I can't wait for the season to start. I'm more of a college football guy though, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I love me some college football. Just getting a good tighten on this, because this will be where the most action is shown on this hose length. Okay, so y'all can see we have the coupler now installed, nice and tight. Threading is good. Everything is good. Now this side will be installed. This is marrying our 3/8 inch to our 1/2 inch now. So this will now be installed onto this, and we'll have all of our hoses connected. We can finally undo them all, and you can watch me drag them all out and reel them all up. So that'll be what we do next here after we join these together. This 1/2 inch portion of this reducer into the 1/2 inch of our new 50 foot right here. So that's what we're doing here. And I'm just gonna hold this here, and then I think I can just kind of go like, oh, I think, what was the problem with this other one? Let me pan y'all down. I'm getting good at working the camera though, y'all. I am getting good at this. This is probably my, 30th live or something like that. I'm trying to get better at doing more lives. I know some of them are like me doing the dishes or me doing something that's not like necessarily pressure washing related, but I'm kind of just trying to build a community around y'all and the people that want to chill and hang out and say what's up and stuff like that. So, and I'm always here to answer or ask questions too about pressure washing. So that's what I kind of want to be, is just like an open resource for anybody that's popping in and out of the chats. I know the shorts people like their shorts, and some people like their long forms. Some people watch both, so it just, everybody has a thing they can do on my channel now. If you like lives, you can watch it live. If you like long form, you can watch me long form. And if you like shorts, I got shorts. So I'm trying to be accessible to everybody. Being able to partner with brands of products that are relevant to the audience and stuff that y'all will actually find value in, is really exciting. Because then I'm not having to sell too much to y'all, It kind of sells itself because it is useful and valuable in the industry, and everybody, utilizes it or needs it. There's a couple of products I'm speaking on. I just can't talk about them yet. Okay, we're almost done here with this. I just want to double check we have it as tight as we want it, which we're getting close, but my hand is fried, so I gotta find a new way to tighten this. So I killed my hand. I think I'm pretty good with that though. I think that's about as tight as it needs to be. And she's on there. She's on there. And she can swivel right here too, so that's nice. I ain't using a knife by these new hoses yet. I ain't risking it today yet. Okay, so we unwrapped the new wrap off the hose. Okay. So now we'll use this swivel portion to basically work out all the rest of this kink, because we have the ability to swivel right here. So what I'm doing is just flipping out all these extra twists. But yeah, you use the swivel portion so you can work these kinks out without fighting the stiffness of the hose. There we go. Okay. Now we just got one section over here. Almost there. Okay. There we go, boys. Right here it's supposed to go. So like that. That way there's just a little bit more support on that kink that happens right here. This part, hopefully y'all can see that. Now we can reel it up. Yeah, you'll have to let me know. Make sure you join the Discord, brother, because you'll find some value in there. If you're thinking about starting, the Discord is a good resource for just talking about it and seeing the real world perspective from guys that are doing the jobs, guys that are trying to start out, guys that just built their trailer, guys that are starting to build their trailer. Like, trying to have a community in there for just about everybody. It might be a little bit easier because there's a swivel on both ends. It's nice that this company puts like a QR code on their stuff so you can look it up. Like I said, I'm gonna be leaving a review on this brand of hose over the next couple of months and letting you guys know how I personally enjoyed. And then also it's gonna be linked on the Cigar City Soft Wash website as well. Okay. We're basically just pulling this until we can get all the ropes and the kinks out. Which this is working nicely, like this. Look at that. Why didn't I do that before, y'all? That's how you do it. Now we know though. And now we just reel it up, boys. Now we just reel it up. All right, y'all, you made it this far. Let me show you what we did. I'll give you the rundown even though you've been here the entire time. We finally got these hoses back on the reel. We got 2 new links, a 50-foot 2-wire 1/2-inch hose coupled up into 3/8 inch hose that is 100 foot. So we now have 200 foot of new pressure washing hose that will be able to feel secure on our jobs and not worry about blowing a hole. So we had these hoses that are now in the graveyard that had blown holes, and one hadn't but was really worn. So we are going to retire both of these. I'm going to keep the one that hasn't blown just as a backup, but the one that blew a hole in it, I'm possibly just going to toss, but I might think about crimping the end. I don't know. I haven't learned about that. Might be something I learn about, and I'm pretty satisfied with that install. I think it took about 2 hours, but we were on the live over here. I don't know if you can see the phone on the tripod over here. But we were on the live the whole time, so we were going back and forth with everybody, and I had to take a few phone calls. But I'm going to chop this video up into a nice, concise version of the install and cut out a lot of the back and forth with the live. But if you guys are interested in our lives, we are live weekly. Whether you're watching on your phone or your TV, you'll have to check out the channel. If there's any products that you saw pressure washing related that you see on this trailer that you're interested in, check out our Cigar City Soft Wash link. It'll be down in the description of this video. And if you use code GOLD10 at checkout, you'll get 10% off. And if you didn't see anything on Cigar City, but maybe you're more interested in our filming equipment or our streaming equipment, then go ahead and check out our Amazon storefront, because we have all the items that you see used in our videos daily listed there. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody that made it this far. I'm going to sign out now. Catch y'all on the flip side. And hey, how about y'all say bye to the chat over here? Yeah, say bye to the live. Take it easy, everybody. Catch me on the next one. Peace.